Hello everyone and welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. This is Colin and today we are going to do yet another playthrough of Jagged Earth. That's right, Mike already did a playthrough and most of the comments on his video was, hey, do another one. And so I told Mike, well, you know, I got this game too and I really like Spirit Island, so why don't you let me do it? And he was like, heck yeah. So today I'm going to be playing a 3 Spirit playthrough and then Mike did an adversary, so I'm going to do a scenario and this one is called the Despicable Theft, which came with the this expansion as well. Now this will be our 4th Spirit Island series, so I don't feel like you guys need to see more setup. If you want to see how to set up the base game, I'll put in the description below the link to my original setup, and if you want to see how Branch and Claw gets set up, I'll also put that in the link, because I also have a video for that. What we'll go through is just the differences for this specific scenario, and of course we'll take a look at all 3 of our spirits. Small groups of invaders have been searching the island, and a few have found wonders. If they make it home, their people will stop at nothing to seek out more such fantastic treasures. Even those without wonders have tales and trophies that may bolster the invaders' resolve to stay. So this one will be significantly easier for spirits with strong movement and isolate abilities. I do have one of my spirits is pretty good at movement. It'll be notably harder for spirits with poor abilities to move Dahan, with poor ability to damage, move invaders, and the thematic boards. You can see up here this is a difficulty level 2, so not terribly difficult, but it's definitely going to add a challenge. We have make a pool of the 18 scenario markers, 12 blank ones, and they're going to look like this. So we got 12 blank ones, we've got 3 ones, look like this, 2 twos, and of course I have a 3 somewhere in here. Here we go, 1, 3. They represent small groups of thieves trying to escape with knowledge or treasure. Mix them up and form a face-down supply. Now, what do the thieves do exactly in this scenario? Well, they're going to arrive with our explorers after setup. So I've already done the initial explore because that's in the setup, I believe. So I don't believe I have to start with them on the board. If I'm wrong, let me know. When invaders successfully explore into a land numbered 6 or higher, also add 1 thief there from the pool. And then they're going to try and escape by ship. So before the ravage step, all thieves on the island will move. Thieves adjacent to the ocean will escape. For each, you're going to lose 4 earned fear if possible. If the thief has a number on it, you're also going to accelerate the invader deck that many times. You're going to simply remove the top card of the invader deck depending on how many of those that you're removing. So if I revealed a 1, it'd be 1 card. If I removed that 3, we would remove 3 cards from the invader deck. Other thieves will just move 1 land towards the board's oceans. Thieves do not count as invaders and do not participate in invader actions, so they're not going to attack the land, they're not going to attack Dahan, and I believe that means the Dahan are not going to attack them as well. We have thwarting the sneaky thieves. Thieves may be affected by player actions only, as if they were explorers. They are not explorers for any other rule or purpose, including event cards, fear cards, etc., and they only have 1 health. Thieves that are face down, and they're always face down by default, but they'll go face up in lands with 2 or more Dahan. If multiple face down thieves are in a single land, mix them up. I'm not entirely sure why they say that. I guess if you have to flip it face down, then you have to mix them up so you don't know which one they are. Thieves can only be destroyed, removed, or replaced in lands with no cities or towns and 2 or more Dahan. Otherwise, they elude you and are instead pushed. So I can still push them when they're face down. And I can even try and destroy them as if they're an explorer and then just push them instead if I don't have the 2 Dahan there. And of course, you can check this condition either before or after the action. So let's say we do an action that destroys, the last city or town. I can also destroy the explorer if I'm able. We do also get to generate 1 fear per destroyed thief, and then we'll just put them back into the pool and they'll keep coming out each round. Let's now take a look at each of our 3 spirits. Our first one is Stone's Unyielding Defiance. One of my favorite ones from the original game, when I was playing with the low complexity ones, was the earth element, the earth one. I can't remember his name, but so I love earth and rock, so I'm excited to play him. Some things refuse to break. Underneath the soil and sand of the island lies rock, layer upon layer built up over the ages. Some stones weather quickly once exposed to the elements, while others are sterner and harder. Stone's Unyielding Defiance is a spirit of that stone which resists being shattered, moved, or shaped to the will of another. It is capable of tremendous feats and resilience and obstinacy, particularly when confronted head-on in a belligerent fashion. It's not unfriendly to other spirits or the Dahan, but it works with them on its own terms. We'll be placing a total of 2 presents on our starting board, 1 in the lowest numbered mountains without a Dahan, and then 1 in an adjacent land that has blight if possible, or if it's sands, or sands if not. And then the playstyle, most of its special rules and innates require being where the invaders are, particularly in the worst, most overrun lands, so it can mitigate the incoming blight, and eventually destroy the invaders with their own ravages. This spirit does best with patience to build up a position over time, and the temperance to hold some energy in reserve, so it can take advantage of the hold the island fast with a bulwark of will. You can see here mostly offense and defense, a little bit of utility, pretty much no fear, and a tiny bit of control. And now, the new type of token that we have in this game, the Badlands, he does use that in his base cards. Our special rules for him is he bestows the endurance of bedrock. When blight is added to one of your lands, unless the blight outnumbers your presence, it does not cascade or destroy presence, yours or others. Isn't that amazing? I love it. Deep layers exposed to the surface. The first time you uncover each of your +1 card play spaces, which you'll see one is here, one is here, and one is here. So it's actually up here on our energy track, which is really interesting. You actually get to gain a minor power, and they're marked with these icons to denote that. Up here, he has his growth track. He'll be picking one of them. Here's his energy and his card plays, which really isn't card plays. You can maybe get to an additional card play if you get all the way over here. Mostly it's elements, and it's earth, which is awesome. His 2 innate powers are both fast. This one is when Blight is added to one of your lands, you may pay 2 energy per Blight to take it from the box instead of the Blight card. So remember, if we get rid of all 6 Blight that's on the Blight card, we would essentially have a Blighted island. He can prevent that by, we place Blight, but we're actually grabbing it from the box. We're not taking it from there. And then he's got additional power-ups. Over here, the level 1 ability is after invaders deal 1 or more damage to the target land, deal 2 damage. And then he can do cooler things and even repeat the power potentially. So we'll start off the game with generating 2 energy and 1 card play per round. Our stone spirit will be able to place 1 presence here and 1 presence here. This land is a mountain without Dahan, and then an adjacent land that has blight in it, right here. Next, we have Lure of the Deep Wilderness. Most early Dahan settlements clustered along the coast. From time to time, a handful of residents would get a distant look in their eyes and stride off into the heart of the island, no pleading or reason dissuading them from seeking some distant call only they could hear. Many of these involuntary wanderers survived and settled together in time. This may have hastened the first reckoning, as they relied much more on agriculture than did their fishing brethren along the coast. A few wanderers spoke, in voices of wonder mingled with fear, of finding the spirit that called them ever further inward, but most never even saw it, only felt its distant beckoning. Yeah, so this guy is all about pulling people inward into the inward of the island, luring them in, and then taking them out. Setup: we're going to place 3 of your 3 presents on your starting board, 2 in land 8 and 1 in land 7. Then you're going to add a beast to land 8. Lure is very focused on the interior. Its best options for coastal lands are draw the invaders inland, or turning, we've got cities or towns, into explorers, then drawing them inward. Likes the interior to be dangerous, full of lots of different tokens. We've got the Badlands, the Beasts, we've got Disease, and we've got Wilds, ideally where it has its presence. Lure has better than average potential for containing invaders and setting up a zone safe from explorers, but the coast may get messy while doing it. You can see here we have offense, control, fear, not so much defense, no utility, uses all of these different tokens. Our special rules for Lure are Home of the Island's Heart. Your presence may only be added or moved to lands that are inland, and the Enthrall the Foreign Explorers. For each of your presence in a land, you can ignore up to 2 explorers during the Ravage step and the Ravage actions. Now, he has a really cool growth track. He can actually pick one of each of these sets of 3. So one of these 3 and one of these 2. His 2 innate powers: forsake society to chase after dreams. After this power replaces pieces with an explorer, gather any number of those explorers into your land. If the target land has any cities or towns remaining, generate 1 fear. And you can see, you can even generate an explorer or replace an explorer with an explorer, and that just allows you to trigger this ability. First time I read this, I was like, what the heck? But that's what that's trying to do. Then over here, the Never Heard From again. Oh man. If this power destroys any explorers, it generates fear. If this power destroys 5 or more explorers, it's going to generate 2 fear. This one over here is Lure's board, and just so you understand, inland means anything that's not on the coast. So all of these lands are inland. Those 3 are the coastlands. So we had to put 2 in 8, 1 in 7, and then we added another beast token in 8. Finally, we have Volcano Looming High, a spirit of fire and earth stretching upwards to the sky, casting a long and dangerous shadow across the land. The deeper spirits of volcanism are too powerful and slow, too removed to respond to the invaders, but not so this one. It doesn't dislike humans per se, but neither does it have much use for them, so the Dahan tend to keep away from it as much as possible, and will not quarry stone in its shadow. Of course, large eruptions can impact a good chunk of the island, so they sometimes end up dealing with its temper whether they want to or not. So for setup, we're going to be placing 1 presence and 1 Badlands token on your starting board in a mountain of your choice. Push all Dahan from that land. Remember what Badlands do. They give +1 attack for both the invaders and for the Dahan, but it doesn't do +1 damage to the land. That's something to note. So when the invaders are attacking the land, you don't add 1 to that attack. You will add 1 if the invaders are attacking the Dahan. Now, playstyle. Benefits more than most from getting their presence onto the board. In addition to the usual benefits, it can fuel an explosive eruption. This can result in a huge turn, but if overdone, the following turn or 2 may be very, constrained. Bigger eruptions are extremely powerful but do cause blight, and the invaders may not provide the luxury of enough time to build up the desired pressure. Judging the timing of when to erupt and for how much is a key of playing the spirit. Our powers here are mostly offense, some utility, a little bit of fear, no defense, and really no control. And we're using Badlands and Wilds. We're going to choose this land 7 to place our presence and the Badlands, and we're going to push this Dahan maybe over here to the 5 land. I could maybe do the 6, but I'm worried that I'll lose it because they're going to build here right away, since the card that I flipped for their initial explore. Our special rules are we can only put our presence added or moved into the mountains. Collapse in a blast of lava and steam. When your presence is destroyed, in that land deal 1 damage per destroyed presence to both the invaders and to the Dahan. We also have Volcanic Peaks Tower over the landscape. Your power cards gain +1 range if you have 3 or more presence in the origin land. And now they've talked about origin land and target land. Origin land is where your presence is located that you're using the range. Target land is then where you're actually targeting to do the effect. Our growth, we choose 1 of these 3 options. And then for our innate powers, we have Explosive Eruption. Destroy X. X is 1 or more of your presence in the targeted land. And then that's by that symbol below going forward. You check how many were destroyed. This powered damage is done separately to both invaders and to the Dahan. The ranges below can't be increased. So you can see here with 2 fire, 2 earth, and you destroy 2 presence. In 1 land within range 1, you deal X damage. X is equal to the total destroyed presence, so that would be 2. Then here, it would actually do a total of 4 damage if you did this, and you would generate 4 fear on top of whatever fear you've generated by destroying things. And if you can get all the way to 10, it can get insane. Now, destroying all your presence can be an issue, so that's why we have Powered by the Furnace of the Sun. We can actually, if we have 3 rock or 3 earth, we can add 1 of your destroyed presence onto the board. And if you can spend 2 energy and you have 3 fire out, you can also gain a power card, which is kind of cool. We'll start the game off with only generating 1 energy and 1 card play. As you may have noticed on the board, we have already done our initial explore. That explore was in the wetlands, so after that's completed, we can move this here to the build. Also, don't forget we have 2 blight per player here on our Healthy Island stack, and now they just tell you to put all the Healthy Island cards here, shuffle them up. That's what I did. We have to place in the fear pool 4 fear tokens per player, so I have a total of 12 here. We also have our fear cards here. I have placed 3 per stage. As we generate enough fear, we'll be placing these cards into our earned fear card area. And you're going to see that these are not your normal basic tokens. I got some from the Top Shelf Gamer. I'll put in the description below where you can get them if you like them. Finally, we do have our scenario card and our event deck. There is one specific event card. It's called something about slaves. Just make sure to pull that out because you only use that for a specific adversary. With that, though, I think we are ready to start. The first phase of the game is the growth phase. Each spirit will pick which growth options they're going to do and execute them. So for Stone's Unyielding Defiance, we're going to go ahead and do this one, where we get to place a presence within range 2 of where our other presence is on the board and gain +3 energy. And I'm going to grab that from up here. You can, of course, grab from the left side of either one of these tracks. I like the energy, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to place a presence here on the board because I'd like to have a shrine. A shrine is where you have 2 or more of your presence in the same land. But I could have placed that within range 2, so I could have placed it here. I could have placed it over here. Heck, I could have placed it 1, 2 here. Could have placed it 1, 2 all the way over here. We'll then generate 3 energy due to the growth option we chose. For lure, we get to choose one of these 2 options and one of these 2 options. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do this option where we can put one of our presents within an inland land. And I think I'm going to grab one from here this first time so I generate a little bit more energy. Next time I'll go here for card play so I can play 2 cards. And then on this side, I think I'm going to go ahead and just gain 1 power card. Now whenever I gain a power card, I can choose if it's going to be major or minor. If it's a major power card, I have to forget or lose one of the other cards that I have, either in my hand or in my discard pile. If it's a minor, I simply can keep whatever card I choose. So I'll draw 4 cards from the minor deck since I'm deciding to do a minor power, and I get to choose one to keep. Within range 4 of my presence gives me a lot of options of places I can place this presence. I think I'm going to start over here because we already have a token here, and we like lots of tokens. You'll see why shortly. But we have a card where the more tokens there are in a land, and the more invaders that are in that land, the more damage that we can ensue. Now what I'll do is I'll grab 4 of these minor cards, and then we'll go ahead and look at these and choose which one we want to keep. Here are 4 minor cards that we drew. Now there's a few things you need to know about these cards. Anything that's blue is going to be slow. So what that means is you're going to play it out on the table when you use it, but then you have to wait for the invaders to do their actions first before you actually can resolve the text. If it's red, it means it's fast, so it actually happens before the invaders activate. Also, you have elements here on the side. Those elements are what you can use to then activate your innate powers, which is really cool. And then there's all the different items on here like range, target land, and then the actual abilities of the cards themselves. So of these 4, Lure is very slow. A lot of the things that Lure does is slow actions. I kind of like this one because it's a fast action. First of all, it does give me moon and air and animal, all of which I need. I have range 2, it's fast. Each Dahan deals 1 damage to a different invader, or I can push up to 3 invaders, and the target land just has to have Dahan. So I think I'm going to go ahead and keep this one. These other 3 will then get discarded. Finally, let's do Volcano Looming High. I definitely think I'm going to do this growth option, gain a power card. I can add a presence within range 4. I get +1 card play this turn, so normally I only get to play 1. I'll be able to play 2 and gain 2 additional energy. So because of that, I'm thinking the presence that I put out, I'll go ahead. Yeah, let's start down this track. I'm going to do this, and now I will always generate 1 fire each turn that I can use for some of my special abilities or innate powers. I can place my presence within range 4, so I'm going to place 1 over here. Hopefully that can help me take care of or help with these lands over here that no one really can reach. Now I can reach within range 1 both of these wetlands. We'll also grab our 2 additional energy. Here we have our 4 minor power cards that we drew. There's some really cool ones. Look at this one. If we're at level 1 fear, which is right now, it just generates 3 fear. And then as it goes up, it adds strife. So this looks really cool, but none of those elements, I don't need any of those. Over here, I don't need any of these elements. This one has fire, which I do need. That's the only element I'm really seeing here. This one doesn't have any elements that we need. I really kind of like this Purifying Flame because we can deal damage based on Blight, and we can potentially remove it. But this just looks too good to me. Being able to generate fear, 3 fear at the beginning, I'm going to go ahead and put that into my hand. Our next step is the Generate Energy step. We'll do 3 for our stone, we'll do 1 for our volcano, and we'll do 2 here for lure. You only get the farthest right number, so I don't get to add these 2 together. It's only the farthest one over. Our next step is we need to pay and play our cards. Now, we're not going to activate them yet, but we have to pay and play them out on the table. And then depending upon if they're fast or slow, we'll activate them in the next step, or we have to wait until after the invaders go. Here we have Stone's Unyielding Defiance. And I think the first thing we're going to start off with is our Scarred and Stony Land. So we're going to pay 2 energy. I've got a 3 here. I'll get 1 back to go ahead and play this card. Now it's slow, so we won't activate it until later. And we can only play 1 card, so that's the only one we'll be able to play this round. Here we have our 4 starting cards for Lure. Look at this card. I love this. Softly beckon ever inward. You have to target an inland land, but then you slowly pull all those people, including bees and the Dahan, and everyone. Pull them towards you. That's awesome. But remember, we also got this card, the Veil, the Knight's Hunt, and that's actually the one that we're going to play. We can only play 1 card this round, so I'm going to go ahead and play this one. Here we have the 4 starting cards for our Volcano Spirit. The one I'm thinking of playing, actually we can play 2 this round, and we did get this Terror Turns to Madness, so I'm definitely going to play this one just because, come on, 3 fear right off the get-go. The one I'm also thinking of playing is this one, because it's slow, so we can wait to see what happens. We'll generate 2 fear, and then we can push certain things around. And remember, with this scenario, being able to get 2 Dahan in the appropriate area might be a nice thing. So we'll play these 2. Now that we've all played and paid for our cards, we'll move into that fast phase. So any of our fast cards we can activate. So we can activate the Veil of Knight's Hunt. Now, if any of our innates also that were fast, we can activate at this point. But right now, no one is activating any of their innate powers. What we can do here is each Dahan will deal 1 damage to a different invader, or we can push up to 3 Dahan. We need to do this within range 2 of where our presence is. We know they're going to build over here in the wetlands, and all they have is an Explorer. So within range 2, there are 2 Dahan here. This one will deal a damage to this Explorer. He's toast. He only has 1 health. That way, they will not be able to build or then ravage in this land. That completed the fast power phase. Now we'll move into the invader phase. That will start with if there's any blighted island effect. Our island is healthy so far. Then we go to events. Now, the first round, the change here with Jagged Earth is you do not do an event the first round, but you're supposed to just take one and discard it because there's some that have a specific event that you have to seed into the deck, and so they don't want to mess with that timing. But you just simply take the card on the top card of the event deck and discard it and do not do it. Then you look to see if you have any fear effects. After that, now we'll start activating the invaders. The first thing you'll want to do with your invaders is ravage in whatever land is here. Now, since we have no land there, we can skip that. Then what we need to do is build in the wetlands, and then finally, we need to explore in the sands. After we do all that, you'll want to move all of these over 1 space, because now next round, they'll ravage, which means they'll deal damage to the land and to Dahan in the wetlands. They'll build in the sands, and then they'll explore in an unknown location. Let's first do our build, going land by land. So wetlands here, nothing. Over here, since we just have an explorer, no buildings, he's going to go ahead and build a town. Over here, since we already have a town, since we have more towns than cities, that means they're going to build a city. Over here, since they have an explorer, he's going to go ahead and build a town. And then over here, that one is going to build a town, since they just have an explorer. And then finally, this one over here, they'll also build a town. Oof, yeah, lots of buildings at the beginning. Then the invaders are going to explore. Now, how you know where they explore is if they have any of their buildings adjacent to the land, or that land is adjacent to the coast, we have to put an explorer in that specific land. And then don't forget, because of our scenario, we're going to have to place out some thieves, but I'll do that in a second. They're currently exploring in the sands, and all the sand locations are either adjacent to the coast or have a building that's adjacent to it, so they could have explored to it. We have now placed explorers out on each of the sand locations. Now, if any of the lands are 6 or higher, we're supposed to place a thief on it. So this one's a 6, so we'll place a thief here. And this one over here is a 7, so we'll place that here. And now what they're going to do each turn is they're going to try and get over to the coast here of whatever tile they're on. So this one, it's going to take them 1, 2, 3 turns to escape. This one over here, it's only going to be 1, 2, and then he's going to escape. Oof. And we don't know if there's numbers on those. If there's a number on that, not only would we lose 4 of our fear that's in our generated fear area, we would also have to accelerate the invader's deck by the amount of the number on that token. Now, the nice thing for us, there are 2 Dahan here. Because of that, we can flip this one over. Okay, so this one's blank, so I'll leave it face up. If it ever goes into a land that doesn't have 2 Dahan, then what happens is we have to flip it face down. And then if there's other tokens there, we have to mess them up. But this does mean, because there's 2 Dahan here, we can actually destroy this if able. The invader phase has now been completed, so now we can do the slow power phase. So we can activate all 3 of these. Our first one, the Tower of Madness, is very simple. We're in level 1 of fear, so we're going to generate 3 fear. That is just pretty awesome. We'll go ahead and place 3 fear here. Our Stone Spirit will get to deal 2 damage, but it has to be in a land that has Blight, and it has to come from a land or originate from a land that has 2 of their presence. Then it can be within range 1 of that. It'll deal 2 damage and add one of these Badlands tokens, and then we can remove that Blight in the target land from the game. So it doesn't go onto the card, the Healthy Island card, it'll be removed from the game. We have 2 presents right here. We have within range 1, so this is our target land. We're going to deal 2 damage. That's going to destroy this town because the town has 2 health. That will generate another fear, so that will be our 4th generated fear, which is great. And then we can remove this Blight. But this Blight I'm going to put back into the box. I'm not going to put that onto our Healthy Island card. Finally, we do have to place a Badlands token there, which is fine, except for that when this Explorer attacks, it means he'll actually probably kill one of these Dahan. Our final card from our Volcano Spirit, we have to, within range 1 of our presence, generate 2 fear if the invaders are present in that target land. They will be. And then we can push up to 2 of our Dahan and 2 either Explorers or Towns to lands without our presence. We currently have presence here and here on the island. Within range 1, we can target this land. Let's go ahead and push both of these invaders over here so they won't ravage in the wetlands. And then let's push this Dahan over here so we've got groups of 2. I think we're going to want to have groups of 2 Dahan as much as we can for this specific the scenario. That will then end our first round. That was pretty good. The only thing I didn't do is I didn't deal with any of the blasted thieves. For this growth phase, Stone's Unyielding Defiance is going to place out a presence within range 2 and get 3 more energy. Yeah, we're going to stack up on energy. We're going to grab this presence, and because we're grabbing from here, which is a +1 card play, we also get to gain a minor power card. Within range 2, we're going to go ahead and place that right here with these 2 invaders because we know they're going to ravage here, and he can prevent Blight from having to come from our Healthy Island card. We can actually grab it from the box if we use our innate power. Here we have our 4 minor power cards. Now, the elements we're looking for are plant, earth, and sun. So I feel like this one has plant, and it has earth, and it has a defend. Now, it has to come from a sacred site, but defending is totally his thing, not to mention removing Blight. So yeah, I think I'm going to grab this one. Lure would really like to be able to play 2 cards, so we're going to go ahead and do this one to add our presence to the land. And I think we're going to claim another power card. We're going to do 1 more minor power card. We like to have our presence in the center of the board, so I think I'm going to place this one here, and then probably our next one we're going to go here, and we're going to get this nice center presence of our land, or of our presence, and start pulling everything into the center of the island, hopefully. Here we have the 4 power cards we get to choose from. This one has moon, this one has moon and air, which is nice. It's defending, putting some fear out, but this one, if you look at this, we can change explorers into Dahan. I really need Dahan out, and not to mention, if I get 2 moon, which would be really easy, I can actually change a town into Dahan. So yeah, I think I'm going to go for the Call of the Dahan Ways. I do want to mention this is a minor card. I have not gotten a major card yet. For our Volcano Spirit, I think I'm going to go ahead and do this one. We can add our presence at a range of 0, and we get to do that twice. I'm going to take 1 of each of these. So now I am generating 1 earth and 1 fire element, and I can place both of these out on the board at range 0. We're going to place 2 more presents here, right next to this area. I'm hoping to build this up and then have our volcano explode and destroy all of these invaders. We'll now generate energy. We're going to give 3 more to the Stone Unyielding. They have a total of 10. We're going to give 2 to the Volcano. He has a total of 3. And then 2 to Lure, who will also have 3. I hope you guys are okay. This was going to be for Lure. I totally put the the presence in the wrong land. The card I'm going to play for Lure is her own card, so it was not going to make an effect based on the power card that I drew. Sorry about that. Should be here because I was hoping to get rid of this Explorer so they won't build. Feel free to call me out on that faux pas, but sometimes it's just hard to remember everything. Okay, the Volcano Spirit is going to play his Pyroclastic Bombardment. We're going to have the Stone Unyielding Spirit play Nature's Resiliency and Plows Shatter the Rocky Ground. And then Lure will play the Swallowed by the Wilderness and Call of the Dahan Ways. We'll then move into the fast power phase. Let's go ahead and activate all 3 of these. We'll start out with our volcano. So within range 2 of where he has a sacred site, he can deal 1 damage to each of these city types and 1 damage to each Dahan. Then he gets to deal 1 damage to any of the invaders, and then he'll deal 1 damage to a Dahan. We have a sacred site here within range 2, 1, 2. So we're going to go ahead and deal 1 damage here, 1 damage here. That will take out this explorer. 1 damage to each of the Dahan, and then 1 damage to him, and that will generate 1 fear, because that is a thief. We just took a thief out. Beautiful. Then we get to deal 1 damage, and we're going to take out this city, or sorry, that's a town, and that will deal 1 or generate 1 fear from that. But then we have to deal 1 more damage to a Dahan, so we're going to have to remove 1 Dahan from the board. Our stone spirit is going to go ahead and defend for 6 in a specific land. He has his shrine here. It has to be within range 1 of a shrine. So 1 over here, we will defend for 6 in this land. That way when they attack for 3, they won't place blight here. We're also going to activate the Hold Island Fast with a Bulwark of Will. We have 2 earth generated by the 2 cards that we've played. You can see the 2 earth there. When blight is added to one of your lands, you may pay 2 energy. So we will spend 2 of this. I'll get 1 back to be able to take that blight from the box instead of the blight card itself. Also, remember that as long as blight that's being added to your land is equal to or less than the amount of presence that you have, it does not destroy your presence. Oh, I love that. That land, just so you know, will be this one, because this one will likely get blighted. So instead of taking it from our Healthy Island card, we can take it from the box, which means we're not actually making the island get closer to a blighted island, which is so cool. We'll now move to our event phase, and let's draw our event, and this one's called Sacred Sites Under Threat. We have a couple options here. We can let the island strength repulse them. So for each of our sacred sites, we can push 1 explorer or town to an adjacent land. Then we have to remove 1 blight per player from the blight card, returning it to the box. Oof. Or we can guard them yourself for well or ill. In each land with a sacred site and invaders, either deal 2 damage there or destroy 1 of their presence from each spirit. Cost 3 energy per land where you do damage, aided by fire. Okay, this is interesting. I don't particularly like the top one. I kind of feel like I'd prefer this bottom one. So we have to look. We either deal 2 damage or destroy 1 of our presence. Don't really want to destroy presence. I much prefer to deal 2 damage there, but I have to pay 3 energy per land, but it is aided by fire. Let's see, how much fire have we played? So when it says this, you can pay for that you can pay for that energy by using those elements, and we're using the fire element. Cards that are already played and out on the table that have that fire element counts as 1. If you have 1 in your hand, you can discard it to add 2 of that energy. If you want to, you can also discard from play, from your discard pile, or from your hand, and I shouldn't say discard, lose, you'll forget it. If you forget a card with that, you actually give a +4 for that, making that card worth +4 for this cost, but I don't really want to do that. Looking here, the only place we have a sacred site with invaders is this land. So that means the cost of choosing the 2 damage in that land is a total of 3 energy, or we can have 3 fire elements. Well, here's the thing. Volcano is generating 1 fire element on his own from his board. And then we've already played the Pyroclastic Bombardment and the Swallowed by the Wilderness. Both of those have fire elements, so that's a total of 3. So we've already paid for the cost. Let's go ahead and do it. We can just destroy this town, generate 1 fear. That means we only have 3 fear left before we've generated our first fear card, which is cool. Then we have Beast Prowl. Each beast generates 1 fear if invaders are present and moves to an adjacent land if not. And then we have the Spirit Speakers Solve Riddles of Power. Each spirit with at least 4 Dahan among its lands gains a minor power. I'm not sure there's going to be many of those. 2 of our beasts are in locations with invaders, so they're going to generate 2 fear. Oh, 1 more, you guys, and we've earned our first fear card. This one will move here, and this one will move here where we have invaders. And unfortunately, no one has 4 Dahan in their areas where they have their spirit presence. If we hadn't destroyed that 1 Dahan here, we would have had that for lure. Okay, that was the event. Wow, you can see the events can totally change things. I love the events. Look at how close we are to being able to generate our first fear card. Oh, just one away. We'll now move to activating our invaders. They'll first ravage in the wetlands, they will build in the sands, and then they will explore in the mountains. Before we move to the ravage step, we need to remember this one thief is going to start running towards the ocean. Oh no, don't do it. Okay, now we're going to do the ravaging. Nothing in this land, nothing in this land. This land, they're going to deal 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points of damage. Yeah, that's going to place a blight here. We now only have 5 on our blighted island card. Over here, this explorer is only going to deal 1 point of damage to the land. No problem. But that Badlands token means that when he attacks the Dahan, he's actually going to do 1 damage plus 1, so that's a total of 2, and take this Dahan out. This Dahan then will deal 2 points of damage plus 1 because of the Badlands 3 to this explorer and take him out. But at least we didn't have to place any blight. Finally, we have over here 3 points of damage, but we're defending for 6, so nothing here. And then over here, we are going to have to place a blight there because we are doing 2 plus 1 is 3 points of damage. But this blight, because we paid that 2 energy, is going to come from the box. So I'll place this here, and since we have blight equal to the amount of presence we have here, we don't have to remove our presence. Normally, the moment blight is placed in a land that you have presence, you have to remove one of your presence. Next, we'll move to that build step. They're going to be building in the sands. Over here, there is no invaders here, so they won't build. Here, they're going to build a town. Blast you. Here, they're going to build a town. They're going to build a town here, except for that they have a disease. So we remove the disease, and then they don't build in that land. That's what that disease token does. Here they're going to build a town, and over here they're going to build a town, and overall that's not terrible. Then they're going to explore in the mountains, and I believe they can get to every mountain. Yep. The mountains have 3 lands that are 6 or higher. We've got an 8 here, we've got a 7 here, and we have a 7 here. We have now completed the invader phase. Now we can do our slow actions. We have our Call of the Dahan Ways from our Lure Spirit. Our Lure Spirit is here within range 1. We can turn this Explorer over here into a Dahan, which is great because that means we don't have to worry about them building. And then we have the Plows the Shatter on the Rocky Ground here. And I think I'm going to do that. That's for our Stone Spirit. We're going to go ahead and do that here. We're going to destroy one town. And we'll do that within range 1 of our presence, and that will generate our 12th fear, which means we have earned our first fear card. Now I don't get to see it. I'm going to place it face down right here. All this fear is going to get pushed up, and we can continue to try and generate more fear. That'll end this round. During the time passes phase, we can heal up anybody that's partially damaged. It's just that Dahan, I think. And let's start the next round. I don't know if I'm going to be able to take care of that one because at the beginning of the Ravage step, it's going to move. So either I need to do something fast to just push him back, or I could, if I had something to be able to move him in there, then we'd flip him over and we could deal damage to him. I don't know. We'll have to see. And then we got 3 more. This guy's racing that way. This one is going this way. So he's got 1, 2, 3 turns. This guy, though, only has 2 turns to get to here because of this long piece of land here. For our growth phase this round, we're going to go ahead and do the gain a power card and add a presence. We're going to grab from here. So we're going to generate 4 energy around, and we're going to grab 4 major power cards. We have another area over here that's going to ravage next round, and I don't think I have anything to stop it. So I'm going to place my presence there so I can go ahead and grab Blight from the box instead of from my Healthy Island card. And holy moly, can you tell that these are major power cards? Look at these things. This one has Earth, which I like. And look at this, 4 fear. Invaders skip all actions in the target land. And if I get 2 air and 3 earth, and earth is so easy for me, I could get 8 fear with this card. So I really like this one. This one also has earth, but we're adding blight. I don't really want to add more blight. The other one that looks awesome is this one over here. 4 fear, add a strife. So what strife does is you actually attach it to a specific invader. And then that invader, when they deal damage, they actually don't deal damage at all. They deal damage of 0, but they still attack. So that means Dahan in that area will still attack back. But this one you add strife, and then if the terror level is 2 or higher, remove 2 invaders. And it's got plant as well. I think I gotta go with this one. It's fast, It's only a 4 cost. Oh, but this has all the no, we're going to do it. This is hard. Now, I am going to have to forget a card. I'm going to forget this card from my discard pile. It's one of his specific ones, so I'll just remove it from the game. But yeah, that will no longer be available to us, and we'll put this into our hand. For lure this round, we'll definitely do the presence again, grabbing this one. So we're going to generate a moon now each round. And then for this one, we're going to gain 2 energy, and then also gain one of these. These are really cool. You can put them on your board and use them during your turn. They did not have this in the base game or the expansion before, but now I can have this to remind myself I've generated a plant this round. For Volcano this round, we're going to go ahead and choose this growth option, gain a power card, place out a presence. We're going to place this one out so we can play 2 cards around. We're going to get +1 card play this round, so we can actually... Oh, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do the other way around. I only think I'm going to play 2 cards anyway, so let's generate the additional Earth. And then, since we had to use all of our energy before for the last round, let's generate 2 energy from this. We decided to go with minor powers, and you can tell they're 1s and 0s. I think I'm going to grab the steam vents, because getting 3 Earth is not going to be a problem now that we automatically generate 2 around, and that will allow us to just destroy a town. Now, it is within range 0, but that's still pretty nice, and it's giving us more Earth and more fire, and even air, which we need. So, yeah, let's take that one. I'm going to place Lure's presence here, and then for our volcano, we're just going to power this up. We now have 4 presents here. You know what we're soon going to be doing. But not yet. For energy generation, our stone spirit will generate 4 wonderful energy. Gosh, I love that. Our lava, or I should say, our volcano spirit will generate 2, and so will Lure. We're now going to pay and play our cards. So for our stone spirit, we'll play the Jagged Shards, Push from the Earth, and Paralyzing Fright. For our lure spirit, it's all slow. Softly beckon ever inward, I need to get that out, and Perils of the Deepest Island. And then for our volcano, Lava Flows, and Exhalation of Molten Stone. We'll move to the fast power phase. First things first, we'll spend the 2 energy for our stone spirit, so that if there's blight added in his location, he can take it from the box instead of from the card. We then have his Paralyzing Fright, so he will generate 4 fear, which is going to be totally eliminated from that blasted thief that's going to run away. But the invaders are going to skip all actions in the target land. Just so we remember where we're doing that, that's going to be here. And then I'll generate the 4 fear, but like I said, that invader is, or that thief is going to escape. And if it has a number, oh boy, I don't know what I'm going to do. Our lava spirit is then going to play Exaltation of Molten Stone. He's going to choose another spirit, and I think we're going to choose, who needs the most energy really is the stone spirit, although he gets a lot. Now, let's do the lure. We'll do the lure spirit, and we're going to split energy per the amount of fire elements we have. We have 1 here, plus the 1 on our lava flows right here, plus the 1 that's on our board, so that's 3. So we're going to give 2 to ourselves and 1 to the lure spirit. So 2 here and then 1 to the lure spirit. Let's then move to our event phase, and our event is the Well-Prepared Explorer, so that's great. We have here for our healthy land effect, for the rest of this turn, the explorers have +1 health. Seriously? We can ignore this. Beast Prowl. Each beast generates 1 fear if invaders are present and moves to an adjacent land if not. And then Coming of Age. On each board, add 1 Dahan to an inland land where there is already a Dahan. Oh. Looking at the board here, we have 1, 2, and 3 beasts that are in areas with invaders, so that's 3 fear. Unfortunately, the one that I don't want to move is this one, and it's going to move. It's going to move to a land that has invaders, so let's move them to this one. Sure. Then, on each board, in 1 inland land, we can place another Dahan if there's one already there. On the board over here, we'll place 1 Dahan here. On the board over here, we'll place 1 Dahan here. And then the board over here, let's place 1 Dahan here. Now, the nice thing is we do get to reveal our fear card now, and maybe this will help us. Let's see. We have Immigration Slows. During the next normal build, skip the lowest numbered land matching the invader card on each board. Oh, well, that will help us. It's not going to help us with the blasted thieves, though. Now the invaders are going to act. They're going to ravage in the sands, they're going to build in the mountains, and they are going to explore in the jungles. Before they do any of that, the thieves are going to move. This one is going to move into the ocean, and oh gosh, it's 0. Okay, so that means we're going to lose 4 of our fear that we just generated. We still have 3 left. This one will move 1 land closer, and now there are 2 Dahan here, so we'll flip it up. Okay, it's blank. This one will move 1 land closer. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to have him move into here. I think I get to choose. Oh, that one's blank. And this one down here is going to move, and he'll move into here. And this one is also blank. I mean, there are 12 blanks. So, but we do have 3 thieves are left here out on the board. Now let's do the ravaging. We'll start over here. This land, there's no invaders. This one, they're skipping their entire action this round, so nothing's going to happen over here. This one, he's going to attack for 1, deal 1 point of damage to the Dahan. The Dahan is then going to attack for 2. Fortunately, they have +1 health, but still 2 is enough to kill. Thank goodness. Over here, we have 3 + 1 is 4, so that's going to place 1 blight. But remember, we paid to be able to take that from the box instead of our card, and that's our presence for our stone, and our stone does not lose its presence as long as the blight is equal or less than the amount of presence in that land. Over here, we have 3 points of damage coming at this land, so unfortunately we're going to have to place a blight, and that does mean that lure is going to lose 1 of its presence. That sucks. And 3 points of damage is going to defeat 1 Dahan, and 1 Dahan will take a point of damage. But then we still have 2 Dahan here, so they'll attack for 4, and I don't think they can attack him, but there's still 2 Dahan here, so that's why he's revealed. So for 4, even with 2 health for this Explorer, that will take both out, and will generate 1 fear because of that, so we'll get 1 fear back. And then finally, over here, we have 3 points of damage coming in, so it's going to defeat 1 of these Dahan, damage the other, and since it's 3 points of damage, it's going to deal 3 points of damage to the land, which is greater than 2, so Blight from our card is going to be placed there. There's no spirit presence there, so we're okay. We only have 3 Blight left on our Healthy Island card. This one will attack for 2. He'll take out this town and generate another fear, so we'll get that fear back. Now we're going to move to the build step. We'll build here for 1 town. We'll build here for 1 town. We would build here a town, but they have disease, so nothing happens there. They will build a town here, and our volcano spirit is laughing at them. And then nothing here, and then over here we build 1 town. And then they are going to explore in the jungles, and it looks like to me they're still totally adjacent to all of the jungles, so we'll put those out. We've done our explorer, then we'll place out 2 thieves, 1 here and 1 here. This one is in a land with 2 Dahan, so we get to flip it, and that's a 3. Oh my gosh. Now, even though the water is only 2 spaces away, they're always going to the coastal land of their specific board, so we do have some time, thank goodness. But yes, we definitely need to get rid of this. If we don't, we have to discard 3 cards from the invader deck. That is not good. Now, though, we can activate our slow powers. We're going to start off with some lure fun. We're going to play Perils of the Deepest Island. So we're going to generate 1 fear right off the bat. Then we're going to add 1 Badlands. So I'm going to add that in this land. It has to be a land that we have presence, and it has to be inland. Then add 1 Beast within range. Let's go ahead and put that here. Range 1, doesn't really matter. We can push up to 2 Dahan if we want. I want to leave the Dahan there. That's because now I want to softly beckon ever inward. So we can gather up to 2 explorers, 2 towns, 2 beasts, and 2 Dahan. So we'll go ahead and grab 2 explorers. We'll grab 2 beasts. We'll grab a town from here, and there's no other towns. And then 2 Dahan. Why the heck not? Let's bring these Dahan in here as well. Then we can use our innate power and forsake society to chase after dreams. So we have 2 moons and 1 air. So we can activate this ability where it says after this power replaces pieces with explorers, gather any number of those explorers into your lands. If the target land has any of these items in it remaining, generate a fear. And then what we can do is we can replace 1 town into 2 explorers. So what I can do is I can change this town into 2 explorers. And then I can gather as many of those into our lands that I want. I'm going to gather 2 of them, and I'm going to leave 1 here just because then I can generate another fear. So that will be another fear generated for us. As you can see, Lure is super fun as a slow spirit. You let them explore, figure out what they're going to do, and then you just take it away from them. Our Volcano Spirit will then play Lava Flows. I'd love to add the tokens, but I think I'm just going to deal 1 damage. That 1 damage can take out the Thief, because from what I understand, the Thieves are not affected by the events, so they don't have +1 health. It was only the Explorers. This will also generate another Fear. 4 more Fear, and we'll get another Fear card. The last thing that we can do is have our Stone Spirit play the Jagged Shards from the Earth. We're going to add a Badlands token within range 1 of our presence. We have presence here. We just want to keep adding tokens here. And then we're going to push 2 Dahan out of there. I'm going to push these 2 Dahan back into the jungles, hopefully to help us out over there. Well, that will end our round. Oof, that was exhausting and good all at the same time. Let's go ahead and get our Dahan back standing up. Remember, we need to take care of that one. I could have actually destroyed that one, I think, with that card that I had, but I felt like this one was more important because it was closer to coming in. And this one we have some time. Heck, if we waited 2 rounds, it'll probably come into this land and we can maybe kill it when it's there. Moving into that growth phase, our Stone Unyielding is going to have to pick the Reclaim cards action. So he's going to reclaim, he's going to pick up all of his cards that he's used. He's going to gain 2 Earth elements for this round. And he can place a presence out on a mountain space. And yeah, you can see I planned this before talking about it. I'm going to place this one because now I can play 1, 2, 3 cards and I get to gain a minor power card. So I can either gain Inflame the Fires of Life, the Razor Sharp Undergrowth, Twilight Fog Brings, or Sky Stretches to Shore. And you know what? Oh my gosh, this turn the target spirit may use a slow power as if it were fast. Yeah, beautiful. I'm going to take this one, and it's a minor power, so I can just put that right in my hand. I can add my presence to a mountain space or to a land that already has my presence. I'm definitely going to move myself over here. I can't affect anything on this side of the board, so I'm trying to get myself closer. For Lure, we're going to go ahead and do the Reclaim and gain 1 energy, so we have all of our cards back into our hand. Then we're going to choose this one to gain +2 energy, and then let's go ahead and I don't know. We definitely need the plant. So I'm going to do generate another plant that we can use this round. Well, it just so happens that we're all going to be picking our Reclaim action. So I'm going to do the Reclaim and +1 power card for Volcano and gain +3 energy. We're going to try a major power card this time because look at all this energy that we have. So let's see. We have Indomitable Claim. Add 1 presence in the target land. You normally could not due to land type and defend 20. Holy moly. Oh, we have Volcanic Eruption. 6 Veer, 20 damage. Destroy everything and add a Blight. I almost feel like I have to get that. Then we have the Land Thrashes in Furious Pain. 2 damage per Blight. +1 damage per Blight in adjacent lands. And then this one, Unleash Torrent, that Self-Own Essence, gain +4 energy. You may forget a power card to gain 4 more energy. Pay X energy to deal X damage in a land of 0. Well, it's most certainly between these two. The Indomitable Claim would allow us to get more of our presence out, but the Volcanic Eruption just sounds super thematic, and it's totally, I mean, we have to have presence in a mountain. That's exactly where we go. 20 damage, you guys. But I already have a Volcano. You know, I'm gonna do the Indomitable Claim because I already have a Volcanic Eruption. No need to have it twice. So let's go ahead and do this one. That does mean I have to forget a power card. Now I like this Lava Flow, but I don't know what else to get rid of. So I'm gonna forget this one. We'll move into the energy production phase. Our Stone Spirit will generate 4 more energy. Gosh, he's got 7. Volcano and Lure will each generate 2 energy. Here are the cards that we're going to pay and play this round. I am not getting Lure to work exactly like I want her to, but I'm getting close. My problem is I need to get a little bit more elements out on the board. I'm just not getting the right elements for what I need to do. We're having our Stone Spirit play these 3. We're having Lure play these 2, and our Volcano can only play 1 card this round. Moving into that fast power phase, our Stone Spirit is going to play The Sky Stretches to Shore. That's going to allow Lure to be able to play Softly Beckoning Ever Inward, even though it's a slow card. That means we have to target an inland land. We have one here. We can gather up to 2 explorers. So we'll do this as an explorer and this is an explorer. Then we can gather up to 2 towns. We'll gather this town. I don't see any others. We can gather a beast, and we could gather... you know what? Let's go ahead and gather 1 Dahan into here, because otherwise this would be flipped to the other side. I need to have this flipped face up. Then our stone spirit is going to play Paralyzing Fright. This is going to generate 4 fear, which is exactly what we need to create or to earn another fear card. So we'll push all of our 12 fear back up. We'll have to earn all of that again. And the invaders are going to skip all their actions in the target land. I'm going to choose this one. That way they won't build in this land. Now, I was planning this and I forgot to mention it. We have 2 air here. We have 2 earth here, plus we have the earth that we generated this round because of the growth. So we actually get to generate plus 4 fear. So we'll place 4 more fear. That's awesome. We just generated 8 fear from that. Yeah, we really freaked them out. And I should mention it had to come from a sacred site. Here's our sacred site right here, so within range 1. Finally, we have our indomitable claim from our volcano spirit. We're going to grab from the bottom part of his track so he can play 2 cards next round and place out one of his presents. Yeah, we're going to place it here, and we're going to defend for 20. Do you guys think that's enough? That might be enough for here. Let's now grab our event card, and this one is Smaller Ports Spring Up. We're in stage 1 still. On each board with exactly 1 coastal city, I think all of them have that. Add 1 town to a coastal land without a city. Then we have Stricken. In lands with disease, invaders skip ravage actions. And then over here, settlers encroach too far. On each board, choose a land with a town and Dahan. Push 1 town per 2 Dahan there. Of course, each board has only 1 city in each coastal area. So I have to place 3 towns. That's just mean. We'll go ahead and place a town here because we know that they're ravaging in the mountains, so I don't want to put them there. I'll place one over here in the sands, and then over here, let's go ahead and put another one in the wetlands over here since we already have 1 there. The Stricken isn't going to help us because the only disease we have out is here, and they are building in the jungles. They are not ravaging, so that doesn't matter. Now, though, what we can do is on each board, we can choose a land with a town and Dahan. Push 1 town per 2 Dahan. Beautiful. I'm going to push this into here. That's great. I can't push any on this board because there's only 1 Dahan here. And I think I have to push this town. So let's go ahead and push this town. I don't want to do the mountains. I'll push them here. Then let's go ahead and draw our fear card. And we have Sense of Dread. And it states, on each board, remove 1 explorer from a land matching a Ravage card. So our Ravage card is the mountains. So we can remove 1 on each board. 1 here. There's none there. Let's do this one here. And this one we can do that one. Perfect. Before we look at the invaders, let's go ahead and move our thieves. So we'll move this one to here. This one is also trying to get to there, so we'll say we'll move him to here. And okay, he's blank. This one will move to here, and this one will move back over to here. We'll have Ravage in the mountains, build in the jungles, and then we will explore in the mountains again. Before I do that, I do need to remember this thief gets flipped down because there's no 2 Dahan in that location. So first, we will do the Ravaging. There's going to be some Ravaging here. That's going to place. We only have 2 more Blight left on our card, and the Volcano is going to lose 1 of his presents. Other than that, though, we have a defense of 20 over here, and none of the other mountains have any invaders on them. Sweet. So then we're going to build in the jungles. Over here, we have disease, so that prevents the next build. Then here, we are ignoring all actions here, so there's no build. Here, we will have a build of a town. Over here, we'll have a build of a town. But then this board will have no build. Then we have exploring in the mountains. Unfortunately, all the mountains will still be explored. With that exploration, we'll place 1 here, we'll place 1 here, and we have to place 1 way up here. Man, lots of these thieves. We now get to do our slow actions, and once again, I made a poor choice. Scarred and Stony Land, we needed to have a sacred site, and then have the land have blight. Well, we have our sacred site here. None of this land has blight. So this card, we can't use the ability. We did get the element, the earth, but bummer. For lure, we're going to use the Perils of the Deepest Island. So we're going to go ahead and generate 1 fear. That'll be our 5th one that we have for this round. Then we're going to add 1 of the Badlands. This is at range 0, so we're going to add it here. Then we're going to place a beast token, and we're going to place it in that same location. And we could push up to 2 Dahan. I think I'm going to leave the Dahan there. We have a total of 1 plus the 2 from here. That's 3 moons, and we have 1 air. So we can go ahead and replace 1 town into 2 explorers. And then if we do that, we can go ahead and gather them into our lands. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take this jungle within range 1 of our presence. We're going to turn this town into 2 explorers. And then we're going to have all those explorers get pulled in to this land right here. We don't get to generate the fear because we will have no cities or towns in this location, but we have lots of explorers here that we can kill next round. That will end this round. Let's remove these reminder tokens. I don't know. I don't see anybody that took partial damage, so I think we're good. Yeah, hopefully I'm doing all right. Three spirits, you guys. Wow. I thought I could handle it. It is insane. I mean, I'm having fun, but I'm also exhausted. Let's go do it. One item I missed from the last round, I could have activated my power by the furnace of the earth. We need 3 earth to add 1 of your destroyed presence to a range 0 of a location we already have presence. I played this card that had our 3rd earth. We have 2 already here. So that 1 that's been destroyed, let's go ahead and place that out on the board in the same location where we only have presence in 1 land. For our growth phase, for stones unyielding, we are going to gain 1 power card and place out 1 presence. So I'm going to do a minor power card, and we've got growth through sacrifice. Destroy 1 of your presence. Target spirit removes 1 blight from 1 of their lands or adds 1 of their presence to their lands. Destroy 3 towns, 1 damage to each town and city. Add 1 blight. If the target land is jungles or sands, remove 1 blight. Ooh, I like that one because we're low on blight. Fear, and we get add a badlands and a wilds. Yeah, this one has earth. I'm just worried about blight. We'll go ahead and put this one in our hand. We're going to place our presence right here so we have another sacred site. For lure this round, we're going to go ahead and place 1 of our presents out. That'll be this one. And we're going to generate for ourselves another plant and generate 2 additional energies. So let me grab a 3 and take a 1. Let's go ahead and place our presence here because we can start gathering here as well. Start finally pulling some items off of the coastal land. Do you guys feel like it's time for a volcano? I do. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this growth option and put both of these out in our target land, our only land that we have control of, or presence on. But now we can play 3 cards this round. You know where we're placing that. Right here. Look at this. This volcano is ready to erupt. Our volcano spirit will generate 2 energy during the energy phase. Lure will actually generate 3 energy this round. Ooh, getting a lot of energy this time. And then our stone will generate 6. Well, you guys, this is when things start getting real. So we're going to play these 3 for our stone spirit. We're playing these 3 for our volcano spirit, and we're playing these 2 for lure. Yes, fast. So many fast things. Let's do lure first. We're first going to play Veil the Night's Haunt. This is within range 2 of our presence. It has to be in a land with Dahan. Each Dahan deals 1 damage to a different invader. That's exactly what we're going to do. We have presence here within range 1. We have 2 Dahan. They're each going to deal 1 damage to both of these thieves. And these thieves are gone. And that means they're both going to generate 1 fear for us. So we have 2 more fear. That means we have 5 fear left before we finally generate our 3rd fear card. Then up here in this land, we're going to have Swallowed by the Wilderness. 2 automatic fear, so we're going to go from having 5 fear to only 3 fear in the fear pool. And then we have 1 damage per token, maximum of 5 tokens. Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we have 5 here. We can deal 5 damage. 2, 4, 5. That just generated 2 more fear. And these 2 towns are gone, and this explorer is gone. Our stone spirit has nature's resilience, so it has to be within range 1 of a sacred site, which we have right here. we are going to defend 6. We're going to defend 6 within range 1 right here, which is great, because then when they attack, they're attacking for 3 plus 1 is 4. They won't do any damage there because we're defending the entire attack. We're also, just for fun, going to have our Stubborn Solidity here. It's just giving us an additional defend there as well. Not that we need it. I just wanted the Earth element. We're then going to have our Volcano Spirit go. We're first going to use Exaltation of Molten Stone. Split 1 energy per the fire you have between yourself and a target spirit. We're going to choose the Stone Spirit. So the total amount of fire that we have are 3 from the cards that we played, plus we have 1 on our board, so that's 4. So we each get 2 energy. We're then going to go ahead and use our Pyroclastic Bombardment, and remember our special ability. Because we have more than 2 presence in one location, a sacred site, we can increase this range by 1. So we're going to do it a range of 3. We are going to do 1, 2, 3. This land over here, we can deal 1 damage to each of the towns here, because there's towns there, not the explorer, and then 1 damage to actually kill or destroy the other town, and that will be enough for us to be able to generate our final fear. Awesome. And we're going to get our fear card here, and this is going to put us into terror level 2. Now we can win the game if we don't have any towns or any cities on the board. We would also have to deal damage to Dahan, but there's no Dahan there. That's why I picked that land. Now for a little bit of fun. We're going to have an explosive eruption. Yeah, they can all see that volcano and it's going to explode. Destroy X, 1 or more. I'm going to destroy 6. So destroy 6 of your presence in the target land. This power's damage is done separately to both invaders and to the Dahan. So yes, the Dahan are going to get hurt. The ranges below can't be increased. So I have 3 fire here, plus the 1 which is 4, which I need here. I have the 2 air on this card. I have the 4 earth, 2 there, plus I actually have 5 earth. And I'm going to be destroying 6 presence. So that what that means is in one land within range 1, I get to deal a total of 6 damage. Then I will generate 6 fear. Then in each land within one range, 4 damage, add 1 blight to the target land. Doing so does not destroy your presence. So I'd love to choose this land as my target land, but there's already blight here. If I choose that as my target land, what's going to happen here is this blight is going to cascade, and we're going to get a blighted island. I don't really want that. Or do I? You know, do I? No, I don't. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to destroy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 of my total presence here. I'm going to deal 6 damage here, so that will take out this, which will generate 1 fear. And then both of these guys are gone. Then every land that's adjacent, I'm going to deal 4 damage to everything in that land. So 4 damage will take out this Dahan. 4 damage here will take out 2 more towns. So that means I will generate 2 more fear for that. I will do 4 damage here, which will take out a town and an explorer, and take out both of these guys, which will also generate another fear. I will deal 4 damage here, so this invader is gone. 2 of these Dahan are gone. And I will deal the damage to this poor 1 explorer. I also will just generate 6 total fear because of that. So here's 3, and here's 3 more. So I literally have 2 fear left before I've generated another fear card. If I had done this land, man, that would have been great. But I couldn't. So then finally I have to place 1 blight in our land here. And unfortunately that means I only have 1 more blight on our healthy island card. And remember, adding this blight here, I do not have to lose any of my presence by doing that. And unfortunately this city survived. I was hoping to take it out, but I felt like it was better to get rid of the 2 towns. Just so you can see here, I literally have 1 blight left. Okay, let's go ahead and look at our event card. We have Bureaucrats Adjust Funding. On each board with 9 or more towns or cities, build cards skip the highest numbered matching land. On each board with 3 or fewer of those, build cards cause 1 extra build action in the highest numbered matching land. This can affect a land without invaders. Oh, interesting. Okay, we'll have to see how that works. Terrifying Beasts. 2 fear per board with 2 or more beasts. And then when invaders ravage, if the land has both Dahan and Spirit Essence, defend 5. We'll start with this board. This board has 1, 2, 3, 4. So because they have 4 towns or cities, nothing happens. That's above 3 and less than 9. Over here, we only have 1, 2. So because we only have 2, that means build cards cause 1 extra build action in the highest numbered matching land. So that will be here. Great. That's just perfect. And then over here, we have 1, 2, 3. Wonderful. So they're also going to build twice here. So they're going to build twice in 8 and twice in 7. We are, though, due to the beasts, going to generate 2 fear because there are 3 beasts here, and then 2 more fear over here because there's 2 beasts on this board. There's only 1 beast on this board, so nothing happens there. But 2 fear will actually get us and generate us another fear card. Then we'll push all these back, and then we'll have 2 more fear, which will be placed here in our generated fear. We now get to resolve these 2 fear cards, and the advantage is we're now at Terror level 2, so we get to do the Terror level 2 ability. Each player removes 1 explorer or town from an inland land. Oh, that's cool. This is actually an awesome fear event because for these 2 lands, we can remove these. Now, these lands have the extra build action, but there's no build that they can do. So we can, oh, that's awesome. We can ignore that from this event. Holy moly. Okay, so I get to choose 1 more from here. It can either be a town. I guess I have to do, no, all of their inland lands have nothing. It's only the coastal. No, here we go. This is inland land. We can at least remove 1 of these. There we go. That was our first card. Let's go ahead and look at our second one. In each land with 2 or more explorers, destroy 1 explorer or town per 2 explorers. We have angry mobs. That's awesome. Well, it looks like we're going to have a ton of mobs here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it says destroy 1 of these per 2 of them. So we have 2 here. This guy's gone. 2 here. This guy's gone. 2 here. This guy is gone. And we have 1 remaining. Let's see. That's actually it. I don't think there's any other land, but I will still take that. Now, though, unfortunately, we're going to have to do our thieves. And this one is going to escape. It's a 0. So we're just going to lose our 2 generated fear from the beast. That's okay. This one is trying to go that way. So I'll have him move into here. He'll get flipped. Okay, that's a 1. This one is trying to go this way. This one is trying to go this way. This is a 3, you guys. That is a huge problem. And this one's going to go right here. We'll now activate our invaders. We're going to ravage in the jungles. We're going to build in the mountains. And where are they going to explore? The sands. The only land we have to worry about ravaging is this one. These 2 invaders are going to deal a total of 4 points of damage here. We defend for 6. Our Dahan then here will deal 2 points of damage, 1 here and 1 to the city. That was our ravage. Now we're going to do building. So we have building in the mountains. Here we'll build a town. This is probably our biggest issue right here. This one, nothing. Here we're going to build a town. And you know, we built a town here because we already had a city. You build towns until when you are going to build a town, you have more towns than cities, then you put a city in. And looking here, I think that's the only building we're doing. So then we're going to explore in the sands. And unfortunately, they still can hit all of the sands. We've completed our explore. I believe we're going to have to place 1 here for a thief. And let's see, a 6 or higher, 1 here. And I think that's it. Yep, because all the other ones are below 6. After all of this, we can now move to our slow actions. Lure still has a couple slow things that she can do. So the first thing is she has a total of 2 moons, 2 air, and so because of that, we can do replacing 1 town with 2 explorers, and if we do that, we can gather them into our lands. And if we leave either a city or a town in that target land, we can generate 1 fear. We also can, because we finally have some fire, and we have 1 plant here, 1 plant here, and 1 plant here, we can do this ability, the Never Heard From Again. And what we have is we can add 1 Badlands, and then we can destroy up to 2 explorers per any of these tokens. And it says here, if this power destroys any of the explorers, we deal 1 fear. If it destroys 5 or more explorers, it's plus 1 fear, which was going to happen until they had an angry mob and they killed each other. So what we'll do is we'll turn this town into 2 explorers, and then we'll go ahead and gather all of these explorers, because we can gather all of them into this land. This might actually still work. And since we did that, we have a town here. That town then will generate fear because they're going to say, where did all of our friends go? So we've got 1 generated fear. Now, I should have done this before I started activating Lure's ability, but we'll still give it to me because it's 1:45 in the morning. I should have, within range 1 of our stone, I was going to place 1 Badlands token in this space as well, because I wanted another token there. This means now we can destroy a total of 2, 4, 6, 8 explorers, and one of those can be a thief. So destroying that thief will generate 1 fear. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And because we destroyed more than 5, we're going to generate another fear. Oh wait, and I forgot, our ability also places another Badland token there, so that would mean we get to remove another 2 of these explorers. Yeah, we just cleaned that whole area out. There's one more thing I could have done with our Stone Spirit. We could have pushed 2 Dahan out of that land since we chose that land. So let's push these 2 Dahan here so we can at least flip up this invader. Okay, it's a 0, or I should say it's a thief. We're going to have to try and kill that. And then finally, our volcano played the Rain of Ash. We're going to generate 2 fear because we're going to target this land. So that's 2 more fear that we've generated. And then what we can do is push 2 Dahan and 2 of these invaders or towns to lands without your presence. So I'm targeting this land. I'm going to go ahead and push this one over here to to this area where I'm hoping to destroy more later. So I'd say overall, I'm feeling pretty good. We don't have a ton on the board. My biggest problem is I still have all of these cities. So yeah, and this one's going to heal back up. This is going to be removed. This is going to heal back up. I need to be able to get rid of those in order to get my level 3 fear, because that's what it feels like I'm going to be trying to do on this one. And I still have 1 thief here that's just about to escape, and this one's terrible. This is the one that has the 3 on it, so I've got to figure out how to at least push that back. And this one here that if he does escape, it's not the end of the world, but still something I need to deal with. We need to remember that we have power to buy the Furnace of the Earth that we can also use. We had 4 earth and we had 4 of the fire, so we can add one of our destroyed presents to that land that we had before. We can also, for 2 energy, gain a power card, and I'm going to go ahead and gain a major power card. So I am going to either grab Transform to a Murderous Darkness. Target spirit may choose one of their shrines. In that land, replace one of their presents with a Badlands, and then the replaced presence leads the game. Push any number of those. Oh my gosh, no, that seems insane. We have Smothering Infestation. Add 1 disease. No, that doesn't seem it's going to match. Okay, this has fire. For each of these in the target land, 1 fear and 2 damage. If it's destroyed all invaders in the land, add 1 beast. Or we have Blazing Renewal. Oh, this has the icons we like. Target spirit places 2 of their destroyed presence into a single land up to range 2 from your presence. If any was returned, if any was returned, 2 damage to any of this in their land. Yeah, look at this. This is what we want. We want this one. So I'm going to put this one into our hand, and then I think I'm going to lose the steam vents. We'll move into that next round with our growth phase. Looking at our stone spirit, we're going to choose this one so we can recover all of our used cards. We're going to gain 2 of the earth elements, and we can place this on a mountain region or a region with our presence on it within range 3. We also now will get to play 4 cards per turn, generate 6 energy, and we get to draw another minor power card. So we have Unquenchable Flames, we have Gold's Allure, we have Hazard Spread Across the Island, and we have Rights of the Land's Rejection. Invaders do not build in the target land. 1 fear per these, or per that, per whichever is less. Wow, I think I'm going to do this one. That one looks really cool. We definitely want to place our presence 1, 2, 3 over here because we're looking to protect this area. Lure is also going to reclaim and generate 1 of the energy, and then she's also going to grab the 1 earth and generate 2 energy. I think next time I'm going to have to get a major power. Look at all this energy that I'm not using. For our volcano, we're going to go ahead and reclaim all of our cards as well. So we have all of these back in our hand. We're going to gain a power card and generate 3 power. Let's go ahead and do a minor this time. Call to guard. We've got Rouse the Stones, Call to Ferocity, or Treacherous Waterways. Look at this. This has the 2 items that we want. We could push an Explorer, but you know what's nice? We could push one of those... Actually, that's really nice. We could totally... Oh, it has to be mountains or wetlands. But we could push one of those thieves. So let's grab that one. Volcano will generate 2 more energy. We'll have 6 more for our stone. And then we will have 3 more for lure. Well, I hope you guys are ready for a pretty crazy round. I don't think we're going to win here, but we're going to do a ton of fun stuff. Volcano's playing 3. Our stone player's playing 4 cards now. And then lure is still only playing 2. Let's do our stone spirit first. So this turn, the target spirit, and it can be targeted any spirit, so he's going to target himself, may use 1 slow power as if it was fast, or vice versa. Target spirit gains +3 range for targeting coastal lands only. So if we target a coastal land, we actually get +3 range. That's key for this round. We're going to go ahead and then play our Paralyzing Fright. Normally we need to have a Sacred Site within range 1. But we're going to target this land, so our Sacred Site is here. We can have a range of 3, up to 3, instead of just 1. So we're going to target there. First of all, that's going to generate 4 fear. 1, 2, 3, 4. That means we have 3 more left in the fear pool. Then we're going to skip all actions in that land. So what that means is they're not going to build there. And we still have 2 air and 3 earth. So because of that, we'll generate 4 more fear. So that'll place these 3 in, push it back, and we'll place 1 back into the generated pool, and we've just generated another fear card. Yeah, I'm going to try and fear him out like nobody's business here. Down here, we're going to play the Renewing Rain. This is our slow card that we're going to play fast. Once again, normally it's within 1 space of a shrine or sacred site. It should be called shrine. I called it sacred, sorry. A shrine. But we can do it within range 3 as long as we're targeting a coastal land. So we have a shrine here. We have a coastal land here that has some blight and it's sands, so we can remove this blight. Oh, that gives us a little bit of space on that healthy blight island card. Finally, we're going to play Nature's Resilience. This also can be within range 3 as long as it's a coastal land, which is here. 1, 2, 3. We're going to defend for 6 in this land. For lure, the only thing we're going to do is play this card. We're going to have each Dahan deal 1 damage to a different invader. We can do that here, and that will take this guy out, generating another fear, because that's taking out a thief. Now comes the fun part with our volcano. We found this Blazing Renewal. Target spirit, we can target ourselves, can place 2 of their destroyed presence in a single land. We're going to place them here. We can't get any of that additional damage, but that's okay. We're then going to play the Treacherous Waterways. We're going to push 1 Explorer. We can push this Explorer. Normally it's a range 1, but we have more than 2 presence in 1 land, so we can extend its range by 1. So we'll push him back to here, give us a little bit more space. Then what do you guys say we do this? We have 3 fire, we have 3 earth, and we can destroy 4 of our presence. So that means we can deal 4 damage and we can generate 4 fear. We'll destroy 1, 2, 3, 4 total presence. This time we can target this land because we're not placing any additional blight. So we will deal a total of 4 damage here. 3 for this to generate 2 more fear, which is great. And then we'll deal 1 damage to this guy, and we can't actually hurt him or flip him over because there's no, we don't have any Dahan here, but that can push him back, thank goodness. So we've pushed him back. We just did that. We can also then generate 4 more fear because we did this. So I will generate 4 more. We only have 4 more before we generate our next fear card, and then we go to level 3 terror. We'll go ahead then and draw our event card, and we have Pull Together in Adversity. For the rest of this turn, ignore 1 strife on each invader. This includes not removing that strife. Well, it's a good thing we don't use strife. We have Explorer's Blunder. On each board, destroy 2 explorers among lands with beasts. And then when invaders ravage, if the land has Dahan, defend 2. We have beast here, so we'll remove this one. We have a beast here, so we'll remove this one. And I think all the other beasts, there are no invaders there. Now then, let's move our thieves. So this thief will go ahead and move here. So he's 1 space away. Actually, I'll have him move here, and I have no idea what he is. This one will move here. This one will move to here. So will this one. Okay, that one's blank at least. That's a 1. This board does not have any. Great. Oh wait, I should have drawn a fear card first, but the fear cards can't affect them anyways, so each player chooses a different land to isolate, also defend 2 in those lands. Oh, so they can't explore there. If you isolate a land, it's not considered to be there for exploration purposes, so they cannot explore from that location and they cannot explore into that location. So what I'm thinking is if I do that to some of these lands that are adjacent, yeah, like so if I did it to this one and I did it to this one, then we have lands that no invaders are adjacent to, and so no new ones will be placed there. Let's try that. The invaders will ravage in the mountains, they'll build in the sands, and they're going to explore in the coastal lands, of course. For ravaging, there's only 2 lands we need to worry about. We've defended here, and for this land, when they deal 2 points of damage to the land, they are going to destroy the Dahan. We are going to pay the 2 energy so that we can, instead of placing this blight from our card, we're placing it from the box. But this will still this will not cascade because we have our 2 presents here. It's equal, so we will not have to remove any of our presents, and this will not cascade. Oh, that's amazing. And over here, we're defending for 6. They're doing 3, 4, 5, 6 damage, so we're all okay. Then they're going to build. So in here, they're going to build a city. Oh, jeez, another city. Nothing here. We're ignoring there. They're going to build a town over here. And unfortunately, they're going to build a city there. So we just added 2 more cities we have to deal with. Then they're going to explore in the coastal lands. So they will explore here, not here, but they'll explore here. They'll explore here. They'll explore here. And they'll explore here. And then they'll explore only here and here, not this location. And the nice thing is none of those lands are 6 or higher, so no new thieves will show up. Moving into that slow power phase, we'll go ahead and just generate 2 fear here. So we are 2 fear away from generating our 3rd fear card. We'll then do our softly beckon ever inward, and we're going to do that here. So we'll gather up 2 of these towns. We'll gather up 2 of the explorers. I have all the beasts that I need, and let's go ahead. Do I need any Dahan? I don't think so. Let's just do it. We'll bring 2 Dahan with us just in case. We do have a total of 1 plus 2, 3 moons, 2 air, and 1 animal. So we can, within range 1, replace 1 city with 3 explorers. Within range 1, even though this is coastal, this one we can do in a coastal land because it's within range 1 of our presence. So we're going to turn this city into just 3 wee invaders. Take that. Finally, our volcano has 2 earth here plus the 2 on his board for 4. That will allow him to place 1 presence back into his land as well. That should end our round. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. All we need to do now is generate 2 more fear, and we will get our 3rd fear card, and then destroy this city, that city, and this one. Wow, that's still a lot. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that in another round. If we don't, we've got 2, well, man. Yeah, we've got 2 thieves over there that are just about to escape. We've got this one over here that's about to escape. Yeah, we've got some challenges. Moving into that growth phase, our stone spirit has that 1 card that allows him to do 8 fear. It's hard for me not to reclaim my cards each round. So that's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to grab this one, do the reclaim, gain 2 earth, and place one either where I already have presence on the board or in a mountains. I'm going to go ahead and place that presence here. For lure, we're also going to reclaim our cards. We're going to get +1 energy, and then we're going to gain a power card. I'm going to gain a major power card. Let's see, we have Tsunami, deal 8 damage. Oh my gosh, Coastal, oh, that's where we need to kill things. But it's slow. We have Sea Monsters, we have Accelerated Rot, and we have Irresistible Call. Oh, look at this, it's got Plant and Air. Oh my gosh, okay, it's between these 2. The 8 damage though, I think at this point I've got to go Tsunami. So this is a major power card, so I need to lose a card. I love this card, but I just don't ever seem to have time to play it, so I'm going to remove this one. For our volcano, we're also going to do the reclaim. I just keep doing the reclaim. At this point, you guys, I just need to destroy a few cities. I'm also going to gain a major power card. Here's our 4. We have Fire and Flood. This 4 damage in each target land. If we get 3 fire, it would be 8 damage. Yeah, I'm probably going to get that one. I'm not even going to look at these ones. That one looks so cool. I have to forget a card, and at this point, this one doesn't really match our spirit anymore, so I'm going to lose this one. Then we'll go ahead and gain some energy. Our volcano spirit will gain 2. We'll have our rock spirit gain 6, and then we'll have lure gain 3. Lure is still only able to play 2 cards around. Eventually that will change, maybe not. The way I keep reclaiming cards, I'm never getting to where I can play 3 cards. That's probably what's killing me in this playthrough. That's these 2 here. We've got 3 for our volcano spirit and 4 for our rock spirit. Let's move to that fast action phase. First thing for our stone spirit, we're going to do the 8 fear because we definitely have 2 air and 3 rock. And we're going to choose this land, and they're going to skip all of their actions here. 8 fear, we only had 2 remaining in here before we've generated our 3rd fear card for terror level 2. We're now at terror level 3. We just need to get rid of the cities to win the game. We'll then place 6 more fear into the generated fear area. We'll then play our nature's resilience here within range 1 of where we have a shrine is right here. We're going to defend for 6, so that way we don't place blight here. Finally, we're going to use our rights of the land's rejection. So within range 2 of where we have a shrine, which is here, so 1, 2, we're going to target that land. Invaders do not build in target land this turn, so they won't build in here. So I'm going to just place one of these markers in here to remind myself of that, because that is a coastal land. And then we're going to generate 1 fear per building, or 1 fear per Dahan, whichever's less. We have 1 building and 2 Dahan, so we'll just generate 1 fear with this card. 5 more, and we've generated another fear card. We're then going to play Sky Stretches to Shore, and we're going to allow Lure to play one of her power cards that are slow as fast, giving it a +3 range if it's hitting a coastal land. We most definitely are going to use our Tsunami then. This is going to generate 2 straight fear, so we have 3 fear left that we need to generate for our next fear card. We're going to deal 8 damage within range 2 of a shrine. We have a shrine here, 1, 2, 8 damage, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 7 will just push this guy back. We still can't see what it is, but that will generate 3 more fear, which is just what we need for our next fear card. So those 3 will be moved. That will generate another fear card. That's 2 fear cards, and we only have 2 left. We could just win by fearing them out. Lure played Veil in the Knight's Hunt. We have each Dahan will deal 1 damage to a different invader. We're going to do that here, and we're going to have them each deal a damage, since there are no cities or towns, to these 2 thieves. We're going to destroy both of those thieves, generating 2 more fear. Our Volcano Spirit is going to play the Blazing Renewal. We're going to target the Lure Spirit, so they can place, I'm assuming it's up to 2 of their destroyed presence. Since Lure only has 1, I think I can still do this. We can put it in a single land that's up to range 2 from where you have presence. 1, 2, we're going to do it here. We'll place it here, and we get to deal 2 damage to each city or town in that land. Well, we've got 2 towns. We're going to destroy both of those towns and generate 2 more fear. I love it. Then we can, with our Treacherous Water card, we can, within range 1 of our presence over here, we can just push one of these explorers. I'm going to go ahead and push this explorer into here, just so that way they don't build in this specific land. Finally, we're just going to go ahead and target our Stone Spirit to go ahead and use this Exaltation of Molten Stone. I have a total of 4 fire, so we're going to split energy 2 and 2 between that Stone Spirit and the Volcano Spirit. Let's go ahead and draw our event card then, and we have Temporary Truce. In lands with Dahan, 1 Dahan and 1 city or town do not participate in ravages. Interesting. Okay, and then we have Prey on the Heedless. In each land with a beast, 1 damage per beast. And then for each board, 1 fear if any Dahan are in lands with cities or towns. Interesting. Well, if we look here in the sands, any of the areas that have Dahan and cities, they're not ravaging. So we can ignore the temporary truce. On each land with beasts, though, so we've got beasts here, they will each deal 1 damage per beast. So both of these invaders are toast. That's kind of nice. Here there's nothing. Here there's nothing. Here, this invader is gone for 1 point of damage. And then finally, on this land, we at least have a Dahan here with one of these cities, so that will give us 1 more fear. We've generated 5 out of our 12 fear. Let's go ahead and draw our fear cards. So our first one we have is each player adds, and remember, we're at level 3 fear now, or terror. Each player adds 1 strife in a different land with at least 2 invaders. Then each invader with strife deals damage to other invaders in its land. So in this land over here, what do you say we put strife on this city so it can't attack, and it's going to deal 3 damage. It will destroy, to the other invaders. It'll destroy these 3, and that will generate another fear for us. Awesome. So that was this board. Over here, I feel like it just makes sense to do this one. He'll deal 1 damage to this guy, so he's gone, and now we won't blight here. And finally, over here in the sands, we might as well put it on this guy, and then he will attack this invader, and he's toast. Wow, that's actually awesome. Our second fear card is explorers do not affect coastal lands. Invaders do not act in lands with disease. So the disease part isn't helpful, but explorers do not affect coastal lands. So if they're going to explore, they're not going to explore into coastal lands because they're in quarantine. Oh, that's funny. So let's see. They're going to ravage in the sands. They're going to build in the coastal lands. And we're at our level 3s. Yeah, they're going to explore in mountains and wetlands. So for the sands, this one can be ignored. This one over here, he will not attack because of the strife. He'll attack for 1, but then he will attack back for 2 and take both of them out. Perfect. Over here, he will attack for 0. We're defending for 6 anyways, but we'll remove this strife. And then this one, he'll remove his strife and not attack. Beautiful. That was the ravage. Oh, you guys, I almost forgot about the thieves. So this thief would have to move 1 space, and this thief would move 1 space. Sorry about that. I think those are the only thieves. Yes. So now they're going to build in the coastal lands. So over here, they'll build 1 town, which is great. That's it. And then over here, they're going to build a city here. I was hoping that I could prevent that, but that didn't happen. A city here, a town here, and that's it. And then they're not doing any actions here, so then we'll just have a town there. And that's it. That's it for our build. But now we have our explorer. Our explorer is both in the mountains and in the wetlands. We finally have a couple lands that are safe. So this one is going to be safe. No one can explore here. I think actually that's it. That's the only one that's safe. But hey, it's 1. Oh wait, I need to remember they cannot explore off of the coast. So that will help us as well. So they'll explore here. They will not explore here. And then we've got the wetlands. No, this one they will explore because it's not in the coast. This one they will explore. This one they will explore. But this one they won't because it's on the coast. This one they won't. This one they will. And then the one down here they won't because there's no one in range. Lands that are 6 or higher that we explored in was here. And that's a 5, so we're good there. Didn't explore there. They did explore here. That's a 6. I think that's it, though. Awesome. We can then move into our slow action phase. We definitely have 3 Earth, so I can place another presence in our current location for our volcano. And we could activate Lure's ability, but I actually kind of want to keep the buildings out because I just want to do a ton of fear. I only have 2 cards left, you guys. If I can just... I generated enough fear last round to get 2 cards worth of fear. Let's see if we can do that again. If we can, we just automatically win. Because, yeah, I'm not getting rid of all the buildings. So, I mean, I still have 1, 2, 3, 4 total cities. Well, you guys, I'm hoping I can do it during the fast phase here. I'm going to have everyone do their reclaim action because we're all going to get our cards back. We'll place another presence within range 3. And I think we'll just go ahead and place that right here. Lure will just go ahead and reclaim and get +1 energy, and then do this. Let's pick the moon and get +2 energy. So she's got the moon as well. For our volcano spirit, we'll also reclaim. We'll gain 1 power card. Here's our 4. This has fire. Let's just go ahead and grab this one. And then we get the +3 energy. Then we'll all generate energy. So our volcano will generate 2 more. We have 3 more for lure and 6 more for our stone. Here we have our 4 cards for our stone, 2 cards for lure, and 3 for our volcano. Come on, let's fear them out. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to paralyze them yet again. We have the same elements as last time, so a total of 8 fear, and they're going to skip all actions in this area. This is from our stone. So 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is what we needed to generate our next fear card. And then we'll have 2 more in our supply, or in our generated fear. We have to generate 10 more fear. If we can generate 10 more fear, we automatically win. We're going to go ahead and play this Rights of Lands Rejection just like last round, range 2, but this time there's 2 buildings and there's 2 Dahan, so this card itself will generate 2 fear, and they won't build there, but who cares, because they're not going to build there anyway. So we've got 4 fear. We need 8 more, you guys, 8 more. We're then going to have our Stone Spirit play that Sky Stretches to Shore. This is going to give +3, making a slow card fast, and gives them +3 range. So our Lure Spirit will be able to do this. So we have a total range of 2 + 3 is 5 as long as it's coastal. We have our Shrine right here. 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 2 fear. So that's 2 of them. Then we're going to deal 8 damage. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that just generated 3 more fear. We've got our 3 here. We need 3 more, you guys. And all of this is toast. Lure is also going to play the Swallowed by the Wilderness. We're just going to generate 2 fear. That means we need 1 more. And then we're going to deal 1 damage per the amount of these tokens in here. So we can take out this Explorer. Then I feel like it's only fitting. We're going to have a Blazing Renewal to win the game. The target spirit places 2 of their destroyed presence in a single land. This is our Volcano Spirit. They're going to target themselves. We're going to place 2 here. And now we'll be able to destroy 4 of these presents, and we can essentially have our volcano explode. In order to do this, we needed to have 3 fire, 3 earth, and 4 presents. We have enough presents. We have 3 fire on these cards. We have 1 earth here, 2 earth, 3 earth. Beautiful. Just what we need. We can generate fear equal to the amount of presents that we just destroyed, which was 4. I'm not even going to worry about the damage. Oh, we just won the game. We feared them out. With a final explosion from our volcano, we won the game. Now, I will say that was hard. I'm sure I made a ton of mistakes, and I'm sure I made a lot of not optimal moves. I had the first time playing the Lure Spirit and was doing this playthrough, and that was a poor choice. I should have practiced playing it before, because as you can see, Lure was probably the weakest one. Stone was pretty dang awesome. A lot of Stone's power is all about getting those really good major power cards, or if you can really get his innate power working. I just couldn't seem to get it working. That's just me. Volcano, though, Volcano's awesome. Isn't he fun? Yeah, I've got some blight to deal with, but this, yeah, it's a blast. I love this game, but I will say from a solo perspective, I don't really recommend 3. I saw someone did 6 spirits, and I wonder how many errors they made. Granted, they aren't trying to record, so that probably makes it easier. If you're still watching at this point, kudos to you. I love this game. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey, and I hope you get to play and enjoy this game as much as I do. I will catch you at the next stop.